All right, I want to talk about and go to section 8.2, and this is about angle pairs. Angle pairs are similar to the angles that we were talking about last time, but we have two kind of specific styles that we can talk about. We have complementary angles and supplementary angles. I want to make sure to spell these right. And angle pairs are angles we can add up together to a specific sum. For example, let's look at our complementary angles first. Complementary angles are two angles that we add up to a total of 90 degrees. Let me use a different color. And what this means is if we take these two pieces of these angles, we put them together, it turns into a right angle. And in fact, if we often just start by building a giant right angle like this. Pretend that my lines are perfectly straight. And I may have another line that goes like this. And I have an angle here, and I have an angle here. Lots of times you see them labeled like this, or two different colors. This means they are separate angles and they are not equal. In this case, this one might be, for example, 37 degrees. And this one might be 53. And when we add these together, we can say 37 and 53. The total is 90. So I can see that these two angles are complementary because they add up to 90. Let's do two more examples of what this could look like. Now if I split this directly down the middle, it can look like this. And I have one angle here and one angle here. This one would be 45 degrees, and this one would also be 45 degrees. If I add them up, I get 90. So I can tell this is another example of complementary angles. Now they don't have to be connected like this. They could, of course, be separated. And I could have one angle over here and one angle over here. Now my drawings are not necessarily to scale, but we can use the numbers that I put inside of them to see how accurate they are. So this one here I could say is 20 degrees, and this one is 7 degrees, 70 degrees. Again, I can add them up. 70 and 20 is 90. So I can tell that all three of these sets are complementary. Let's take a look at our supplementary angles quick. Supplementary angles are two angles that add up to 180 degrees. They're going to create that straight angle. Then they look like this. Often we can draw them just on a line. So if I drew a line like this, I may have my angle 1 here and my angle 2 here. And here I might have one that's 40 degrees and one that is 140 degrees. And if I add them up, I get 180. So I can tell that these two angles are indeed supplementary. Let's take a look at another quick example. A very common one you might see is when we split this perfectly in half. That wasn't perfect, was it? That's okay. This one is going to be 90 degrees. It's a right angle. And this is also 90 degrees. And if I add them up, I get 180. Perfect. And I can tell that this is, again, is a supplementary angle. Let's do one more little example of what this could look like. And the big key here is obviously just that they add up to 180. Almost off. I have a, let's see, an 82 degrees and a 98 degrees. Adding them up, 82 and 98, I get 180. So again, I can confirm that these are supplementary, and then I can even prove that my little original angle is a straight angle. Now in this section, they're going to be asking you a lot of questions about whether or not the pair is supplementary or complementary. You're just going to be testing, does it fulfill these rules? Yes or no. And it shouldn't be particularly difficult. If you have any questions, feel free to ask a friend or an adult. Good luck.